In 1883, on the remote island of Rodriguez, people nearly 3,000 miles away from a certain volcano heard something impossible. They described it as the distant roar of heavy cannons, a battle raging just over the horizon. They were wrong. What they were hearing was the sound of a mountain tearing itself apart. A sound so powerful it would rupture the eardrums of sailors 40 miles away, and so loud it would circle the entire planet multiple times. This is the story of the day a volcano went completely haywire and unleashed the loudest sound in recorded history. In the Sunda Strait, between the islands of Java and Sumatra, sat the volcanic island of Krakatoa. To the world of 1883, it was just an island, 3 volcanic cones welded together by time and ancient lava. It had been quiet for 2 centuries, a lush, uninhabited paradise that gave absolutely no hint of the violence simmering just beneath the surface. But the world around it was changing. This was the era of steamships and, crucially, the telegraph. For the very first time in human history, news could travel faster than the wind, weaving a web of wires that connected continents in something close to real time. This brand new connected world was about to witness its first truly global disaster. The first real warning came in May 1883. A German warship reported seeing a column of ash and steam rising nearly 4 miles into the sky above Krakatoa. For the next few months, the volcano rumbled. It put on a show for passing ships and locals who were so mesmerized by the spectacle of black smoke and glowing rock that a kind of festival atmosphere took hold. People would charter sightseeing boats to sail close to the island, marveling at the power on display. They had no idea they were admiring a pressure cooker about to detonate. The early blasts had cleared a path, but the magma below was changing. It was getting thicker, richer in gas, and building pressure to an absolutely unimaginable degree. These early, almost playful rumbles weren't a release. They were the prelude. On the afternoon of August 26th, the real horror began. A monstrous explosion tore through the island, sending a column of ash 17 miles into the sky. The world went dark. A constant deafening roar was punctuated by explosions so severe they were felt hundreds of miles away. But this was only the beginning. Over the next 21 hours, Krakatoa would explode 4 separate times, each blast more violent than the last. The first 2 explosions on August 27th ripped apart 2 of the island's 3 volcanic cones, unleashing superheated clouds of gas and rock, known as pyroclastic flows. These things are not like lava. They are turbulent, white-hot avalanches of ash and poison gas moving at hundreds of miles per hour. They are completely unsurvivable. When they hit the Sumatran coast 25 miles away, they instantly incinerated everything and everyone in their path, killing an estimated 1,000 people in the village of Ketimbang. But the worst was still to come. At 10:02 a.m., the third and most powerful explosion occurred. This was the moment the volcano went haywire. The immense pressure that had been building for months was finally released as the magma chamber beneath the island emptied itself in a catastrophic detonation. The force was equivalent to 200 megatons of TNT, about 4 times more powerful than the Tsar bomber, the largest thermonuclear weapon humanity has ever created. The sound it produced was simply without equal. It is still the loudest sound ever recorded in modern history. 100 miles away in Batavia, a pressure gauge at a gasworks registered a spike so extreme it was equivalent to being hit with 172 decibels of sound. For context, the pain threshold for the human ear is around 130 decibels. At 194 decibels, sound stops being a vibration you hear and becomes a shock wave that physically tears through the air. At its source, Krakatoa is estimated to have hit a theoretical 310 decibels. For anyone nearby, it wasn't a sound at all. It was a wave of pure force that would have instantly destroyed a human body. This wasn't just an explosion, it was the planet screaming. The atmospheric pressure wave it generated was so powerful that barographs in weather stations across the entire globe recorded its passing. It radiated outwards from Krakatoa, circled the Earth, and returned. Then it did it again, and again. For 5 days, the ghost of Krakatoa's voice echoed around the planet, a spike in pressure every 34 hours or so, marking the time it took for the wave to circumnavigate the globe. The immediate aftermath was apocalyptic. More than 2/3 of the island of Krakatoa was simply gone. It had collapsed into the now empty magma chamber below, plunging into the sea. This colossal collapse displaced an immense amount of water, generating a series of tsunamis of almost unbelievable scale. Waves, some reaching over 130 feet high, surged outwards. They slammed into the coastlines of Java and Sumatra, wiping entire towns and villages completely off the map. In an instant, the waves claimed the lives of more than 34,000 people, the vast majority of the eruption's total death toll of over 36,000. These waves were so powerful they were detected as far away as South Africa and even the English Channel. But Krakatoa's effects weren't just regional, they were global. The eruption had blasted an estimated 20 million tons of sulfur and ash high into the atmosphere, with some of it reaching 50 miles into the sky. This vast cloud of fine particles spread around the world, creating a veil that filtered the sun's rays. For the next year or two, global temperatures dropped by an average of about 0.5 degrees Celsius. This stratospheric dust had another, more bizarre effect. It scattered sunlight in a very peculiar way, creating intensely vivid, fiery sunsets that were witnessed all over the planet. People saw the sky turn brilliant shades of red, orange, and purple. The moon sometimes even appeared blue. For years, the world was treated to these surreal light shows, a beautiful, haunting reminder of the catastrophe. It's famously believed that the blood-red sky in Edvard Munch's painting, The Scream, was inspired by the Krakatoa sunsets he saw all the way in Norway. The eruption also marked a turning point. News of the disaster spread with unprecedented speed via the new telegraph cables. For the first time, a major natural disaster in a remote corner of the world became an immediate global news event. The world didn't just read about it weeks or months later. They followed the aftermath as it unfolded, heralding the dawn of our modern, interconnected age. The story of Krakatoa isn't just a wild piece of history, it's a profound reminder of the Earth's incredible, raw power. Every year, scientists learn more about how to predict and understand these events, using the lessons from 1883 to help protect lives today. If you think stories about the sheer power of our planet are as fascinating as we do, consider subscribing and hitting that bell icon. You'll be the first to know when we explore another of history's most extreme moments. And let us know in the comments, what natural phenomenon do you want to see us cover next? For decades after the eruption, the place where Krakatoa once stood was silent, a vast underwater crater or caldera. The world it had so violently shaken moved on. But the Earth doesn't forget. In 1927, sailors in the Sunda Strait witnessed something remarkable. In the very center of the caldera, smoke and ash began to rise from the sea. A new volcano was being born. They named it Anak Krakatau, which means Child of Krakatoa. Over the decades, the Child of Krakatoa grew, a new cone of cinder and ash rising from the ruins of its parent. It has erupted frequently, a constant living reminder of the forces still at work. In 2018, Anak Krakatau itself partially collapsed, triggering another deadly tsunami and reminding us all that the cycle of destruction and creation is far from over. The story of Krakatoa isn't just about the loudest sound in history or a volcano that went haywire. It's a story about the immense, untamable power that slumbers right under our feet, a power that can reshape our world in an instant, and whose legacy can give birth to new mountains from the ashes of the old.